Once again, I'm with Adam Allen, a former Florida Gator forward. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We'll start briefly with the Florida Gulf Coast game. Florida fell behind early and then they came back. And after a week of trash talking from Florida Gulf Coast, how good did it feel to watch Florida come back and shut the upstart Eagles up?
It definitely felt good. It was a little scary there at the beginning before the Gulf Coast came out and had the early momentum. I think we were down by 11 at one point. It looked like Dunk City all over the place. Comer was throwing fast break lobs. They were forcing turnovers on us early, and they were hitting threes. But after that initial onslaught, we put the clamps down and ended up pulling away.
All right, now we're going to go on to the Michigan game. Michigan was the team Florida faced after beating Florida Gulf Coast in the Elite Eight for the third straight year. Florida made it one step short of the Final Four, and to be honest, it was probably the worst game I've ever seen since before the team started winning NCAA tournament games about 3 or 4 years ago. First of all, why do you think that Florida just didn't look ready to play?
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that question. I mean, we came out real flat and missed a lot of easy looks down low in the beginning. And I think once in the beginning of the game, once shots aren't falling for you, other teams hitting threes, it just makes the game seem like it's that much worse than it is. You have to give credit to Michigan. I don't think we played against a team with that kind of speed all year. They definitely, I'm sure they looked a little faster in person than what everybody's seen on TV all year. And couldn't defend Berg. He made everything happen on offense and defense. Guy's a really good player. I definitely give a lot of credit to Michigan, though.
For the seniors, the last games they ever played in Florida uniforms were nightmares. In particular, Eric Murphy just didn't play well. He probably had his worst game as a Gator, and he's been our best shooter all year. How much do you think that their performance in their final games in Gator jerseys will affect the rest of their lives, both in basketball and out of basketball?
Well, I definitely think they're all going to remember this game and, wish that we'd have done a lot of things different. That's what everybody does in their last game of their career, because only one team can win the championship. Everybody else is sitting at home wondering the same thing, what could I have done differently to win that game? But especially for Murphy, I really felt bad for him, going out like that, 0 for 11. Guy's had a great career. He really blossomed into a great player for Coach Donovan, and he really has nothing to hang his head about.
Okay, and in this game, we just saw things from Florida that they just don't ever do. I mean, they were careless with the ball. They turned it over a lot. Nobody could shoot. Usually there's that one guy who can get hot, and there was just nothing against Michigan. And they couldn't play defense. And I'll give Michigan, they're a very good offensive team, but I just don't think, Nick Stauskas could go 6 for 6 from three against a good defense for the rest of his life, but Florida couldn't stop anybody. All right, and good shooting and good defense have been Florida's keys all year. That's how they've won games. And in the biggest game of their lives, after two straight losses in the Elite Eight, these things just deserted the Gators. Why do you think that is?
Well, basketball is a funny game. You come out one night and not be able to hit a shot, and the next night you come out and you're hitting everything. But I think that Michigan had a lot of confidence early. Stauskas saw a couple go down, and all of a sudden he's on fire, and anytime he gets it, and we're not right there on him, he's going to knock it down. But as far as shooting goes, I just think we came out, shots didn't fall early, we lost some confidence, and I think that ended up doing us.
All right, now we're going to go through the three seniors from Florida, and we're going to talk about their legacies. All right, we'll start with Kenny Boynton. What do you think his legacy is going to be at Florida?
Well, being the all-time leading scorer, you're obviously walking out of UF with your head held high. KB came in as one of the highest touted recruits we've ever had, and from the get-go, from his freshman year, his average is double digits. He handled a lot of criticism. People told him that he couldn't play the point and he didn't play good enough defense, and he worked on that all 4 years and really blossomed into a great player. Represents UF so well.
All right, how about Rosario?
Rosario, obviously another guy that came out of high school with a lot of accolades. Averaged 18 a game at Rutgers. When he got to Florida, he had to sit out that year, and he really grew up as a person that year and figured out what it takes to win and really became coachable. And that says a lot about him, his character development, actually. But Rosario definitely gave us everything he had, and had a great senior year, and happy for him.
How about Eric Murphy?
Murph, another one of those guys that big guys that Coach Donovan finds a way to develop. Came in his freshman year, didn't play a lot of minutes, played behind some really good players. Really, he made his mind up that he was going to be one of the best shooters in the country his freshman sophomore year, and really worked on his game. And we saw this past year that he accomplished that. He was one of the best shooters out there in the country. But all three of these guys, two-time SEC champs, been to the Elite Eight 3 times. That says a lot about this core group right here. So,
what do you think of their chances of playing professionally? All three of them.
I think Murphy has the best shot of getting drafted. I think Murphy will get picked up second round, depending on how he does in workouts. Rosario and Boynton, it's not a guarantee that they're going to pick up second round, but it could happen. Either way, all three of these guys will play professionally somewhere and make some good money. So they do have that to look forward to.
What do you think the biggest thing each of them has to work on is?
Boynton, I think he needs to learn how to play the point better. I still think he needs to, work on his ball handling and get his jump shot consistent. Once he goes through these workouts, they're going to test and see how good he can shoot the basketball. And if he can do it consistently, you might see him get drafted. Rosario, got to work on his ball handling ability, his finishing ability. He's just a little undersized for the NBA level. He's 6'2", and not like a true point guard, but definitely has a shot of making a roster. And Murphy has to really expand his game. He's got to work on his. Obviously, he's not going to get more athletic, so he's really got to really hone his shooting down, be one of the best shooters in be the best shooter he can possibly be, and work on his back to the basket game. He's got to be able to post up and be able to score on a good opponent. So that's definitely some of the things they need to work on.
All right. Now, the list of Elite Eight failures just keeps growing. Butler, Louisville, and Michigan. All right, this string of Elite Eight failures has to bring some criticism onto Billy Donovan from the pessimistic fans of college basketball. They're going to say he caught lightning in a bottle, the right place at the right time, all that, when he got the 04s and the consecutive national championships. But in your opinion, what does it say about a coach who's able to get his team here 3 straight years?
It says a lot. It's not an easy accomplishment. I think if we made it the Elite Eight for the next 10, 15 years, I don't think that he would be in jeopardy of losing his job. Just being able to get a 3 seed in the tournament, to be able to make it that far every year says a lot about the season and the preparation that goes into it. Getting to the Elite Eight and losing, it's terrible. Everybody wants to go to the Final Four, but at the same time, you can't count those seasons as failures. But obviously, because there can only be one champion, and everybody else has to go out at some point. So that's the way I look at it.
All right, now this season was very much hyped up by Florida fans, saying this is our best shot, championship or bust, or at least Final Four and bust. They didn't make the Final Four, but you just said that you can't really judge an Elite Eight season as a failure. So overall, how do you judge the season?
I think it was a great season for our guys and the talent that we had. Winning the SEC championship, that's never easy to do. Even in a down year, it's still really difficult to do. And being able to earn a 3 seed overall in the NCAA tournament, it really just shows how hard these guys work. And even though it didn't pay off in the end, these guys still get to go home with a championship ring. So that's really all that matters.
Well, you mentioned Billy Donovan. You said that he shouldn't be fired for not getting to the Final Four 3 straight years. I don't think there's any chance he's going to get fired. Not when you have all the accomplishments he does. But do you think he'll look to go somewhere else?
I wouldn't see that happening anytime soon. I've always said that he might have NBA aspirations. You saw where he signed with the Magic a long time ago. But as far as him going to a college program, I don't know if he would do that. But going to the NBA would maybe one day, but not anytime soon.
Snap of a finger, gut instinct at this very moment. Do you think Wilbekin and Young will stay? And then why should they or why should they not?
I think that they'll stay. I obviously don't know for sure, but and they definitely should stay. Scotty, if he came out this year, I don't know if he would get drafted. He would be a second round pick if he came out. But once again, he needs to develop his game a little more, and I think that one more year he'll be ready to go. So.
All right, now despite the loss of the 3 seniors in the starting lineup, the future for Florida basketball is very bright. Okay, you said that you think Wilbekin and Young are going to stay. I do too. All right, in addition to them, Florida has a dead-eye shooter in Michael Frazier. They have very good inside presence with Will Uget and Casey Prather. They have a strong cast of fresh faces, including Dylan Graham, Devon Walker, Braxton Ogboise, and Casey Hill, among several others. First, let's discuss the immediate future. How good do you think Florida can be next year?
I definitely think that if Pat and Scotty stay, that they'll be a top 10 team preseason. Definitely Final Four potential. It's going to be interesting. We got to have scoring on the wing. Losing Rosario and Boynton and Murphy. We lose a lot of scoring there. So I'd be interested to see if Casey Hill ends up starting at the 2 and go with a 2 point guard lineup there. Maybe Casey Prather at the 3, at the 4. Obviously, Chris Walker coming in. He's a big-time talent. Going to look to see what he can do. But you can never tell with these freshmen before they step on campus. But definitely going to be a good year for the Gators next year.
All right, and now with all the fresh young faces that we just talked about, how long do you think it'll take them to mature into a championship contending team?
I think that we're going to be a contender next year right away. We do need to find some of the young guys do have to step up. It'll be interesting to see what Dylan Graham and Devin Walker can do, and Ogboise. But if those guys can step up and play big for us, I think that we can be a contender next year.
Okay, well, Adam, thank you very much for taking time to talk to me. It was a very thrilling ride this year. It came to an end a little bit shorter than we would have both liked, but again, as we both said, it takes quite a coach to get his team to 3 straight Elite Eights. No regrets. A team that's always up competing for championships is never a bad thing. And thank you very much for spending a lot of time this year talking to me about it.
Not a problem, Neil. We'll see you next year.
All right, Adam. Look forward to it.